I never thought I'd be raising a child again at 65, but life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. My name is Margaret Chen, and this is the story of how I almost lost my granddaughter to someone I once welcomed into our family with open arms. It started 3 years ago when my daughter-in-law Jessica passed away from breast cancer. She was only 34. My son Daniel was devastated, and their daughter Lily, who was 7 at the time, was too young to fully understand why Mommy wasn't coming home. I moved from my condo in Phoenix to Daniel's house in Portland to help them through it. They needed me, and honestly, I needed them too. Being there for Lily gave me purpose during the darkest time of our lives. Lily was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 6, just a year before Jessica got sick. Managing it became second nature to us. 4 times a day, we'd check her blood sugar, insulin injections before meals, counting carbohydrates, watching for signs of highs and lows. Jessica had been meticulous about it, and I promised her, in those final days at the hospital, that I would take care of Lily exactly the way she had. For 2 years, it was just the 3 of us. Daniel worked long hours as an architect, trying to lose himself in his projects. I handled the household and Lily's care. We found our rhythm. Lily was a bright, spirited girl who loved gymnastics and drawing. Despite everything, she was thriving. Then Daniel met Amber. He joined a hiking group that spring, trying to get out of the house more. Amber was the organizer. She was 35, energetic, and always posting about wellness and natural living on her Instagram. She had maybe 20,000 followers and called herself a holistic health coach. Daniel seemed happier than he'd been in years. After a few months of dating, he asked if Amber could start spending more time at the house. I wanted to be supportive. Daniel deserved happiness, and Amber seemed nice enough at first. She brought homemade kombucha and talked about clean eating and mindfulness. She did yoga in our living room every morning. Lily was curious about her, the way kids are with new people. But there were small things that bothered me from the start. Amber would make comments about Lily's diet. "Does she really need all those processed snacks?" she'd ask, eyeing the juice boxes we kept for low blood sugar episodes. "Have you tried just giving her more whole foods?" I'd explain, patiently, that managing diabetes wasn't about being perfectly organic. It was about consistency, about having fast-acting sugar when needed. She'd nod and smile, but I could see the skepticism in her eyes. 6 months into their relationship, Amber moved in. Daniel was hesitant to ask me how I felt about it, but I told him what he needed to hear. It was his house, his life. I was just there to help with Lily. That's when things started to go wrong. The first incident happened on a Saturday morning. I'd gone to my Tai Chi class at the senior center, something I did every weekend. Daniel had taken an early shift at the office to meet a deadline. Amber was home with Lily. When I returned 2 hours later, I found Lily on the couch, pale and shaking. Her lips had a slight blue tint. "Lily!" I rushed to her, immediately recognizing the signs. "When did you start feeling bad?" "I don't know," she whispered. "Maybe an hour ago?" I grabbed her glucose meter. The reading made my blood run cold. 41, dangerously low. "Did you have breakfast? Did you take your insulin?" "Amber said we were doing something special. She made me a smoothie." My hands shook as I grabbed a juice box and made her drink it, then glucose tablets. Within 15 minutes, her numbers started climbing back up. But I was furious. When Amber came back from her run, I confronted her. Lily's blood sugar was 41. She could have had a seizure. She could have gone into a coma. Amber's face showed concern, but something about it felt performative. "Oh my God, I had no idea. She seemed fine when I left. I thought the smoothie would be enough." "You thought? Did you check her numbers? Did you give her insulin?" "She said she'd do it herself after the smoothie. I trust her to know her body." "She's 10 years old. She needs supervision." Daniel came home and mediated, assuring me it was a misunderstanding. Amber apologized profusely. I wanted to believe it was just ignorance, just a mistake from someone who didn't understand the disease. But it happened again. And again. Every weekend when I went to my Tai Chi class, Lily would have an episode. Not immediately, not in a way that seemed obvious. But within a few hours of me leaving, she'd start feeling weak, dizzy, confused. her numbers would be dangerously low. I started canceling my classes. I stopped going to my book club. I needed to be there. "Margaret, you need your own life," Daniel said one evening. "Amber knows what to do now. We've been over it a dozen times. You can't helicopter parent forever." "I'm not helicoptering. I'm keeping Lily alive." "That's not fair. Amber's been trying really hard. She even took that online course about diabetes management." I didn't know how to explain the pit in my stomach. The feeling that something was very, very wrong. One Tuesday afternoon, I came home early from the grocery store. I'd forgotten my reusable bags and turned back. As I walked through the door, I heard Amber's voice coming from the kitchen. "That's right, baby girl. This is medicine from the earth. Much better than those chemicals." I froze. I quietly set down my keys and crept toward the kitchen. Through the doorway, I could see Amber holding one of Lily's insulin pens, but she was unscrewing the cartridge. "Amber?" I called out, stepping into view. She jumped, nearly dropping the pen. "Margaret, you're back early. What are you doing with Lily's insulin?" "I was just checking it, making sure it's not expired." But her hands were shaking, and there was something in her other hand. A small amber glass bottle. "What's that?" "Just some herbal tincture. For immune support." Everything in my body screamed that this wasn't right, but I had no proof. Just a terrible suspicion that I couldn't voice without sounding paranoid. That night, after everyone was asleep, I went into the bathroom where we kept Lily's diabetes supplies. I pulled out one of her insulin pens and held it up to the light. The liquid inside looked different, slightly clearer than usual. My hands trembled as I opened the cabinet wider. Behind the spare test strips, I found something that made my heart stop. 3 empty insulin cartridges, carefully hidden, and next to them, a bottle of clear liquid labeled Blessed Thistle Glycerite. I knew what Blessed Thistle was. An herbal supplement. Not insulin. Oh God, my mind raced back over the past 2 months. Every weekend episode, every time Lily had seemed worse after I'd left her alone with Amber. Was Amber replacing Lily's insulin? The thought was so horrible, so unthinkable, that I almost dismissed it. But the evidence was right in front of me, and when I Googled Blessed Thistle on my phone, I found Amber's blog, post after post, about how Big Pharma was poisoning people. How type 1 diabetes could be reversed with the right herbs and lifestyle changes. How insulin was a crutch that kept the body from healing itself. She believed Lily didn't need insulin. She believed she was curing her. She was killing her. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in my room, trying to figure out what to do. If I confronted Amber, she'd deny it. If I told Daniel without proof, he'd think I was trying to sabotage his relationship. He was in love with her. He wanted so badly to have a complete family again. I needed evidence. Undeniable evidence. The next morning, I ordered a small wireless camera online, the kind that looks like a phone charger. I had it shipped overnight. When it arrived, I set it up in the corner of the kitchen, pointed directly at the counter where we kept Lily's insulin pens in their case. Then I waited. Friday came. I announced at breakfast that I was going to visit my old friend Susan in Beaverton for the afternoon. I'd be gone for about 4 hours. "Are you sure?" Daniel asked. "That's a long drive." "I need to see her. We've been planning this for weeks." The lie came easily. Too easily. "I'll take good care of Lily," Amber promised, squeezing Daniel's hand. "We're going to have a girls' afternoon, maybe do some yoga, make some healthy snacks." I kissed Lily goodbye, whispering, "If you feel bad at all, sweetheart, you tell Daddy immediately. Promise me." "I promise, Grandma." I drove to the library parking lot 3 blocks away and pulled up the camera app on my phone. My heart was pounding so hard I thought I might be having a heart attack. Please let me be wrong. Please let me be crazy and paranoid and completely wrong. For the first hour, nothing happened. Amber and Lily did yoga in the living room. They made smoothies. Normal, innocent activities. Then Lily went upstairs to her room to draw. Amber walked into the kitchen. She looked around, checking to make sure she was alone. Then she opened the insulin case. I watched, my hand over my mouth, as she took out Lily's rapid-acting insulin pen. She unscrewed the cartridge and carefully emptied it into the sink. Then she filled it with clear liquid from a bottle she pulled from her purse. She was meticulous about it. She even shook the pen gently, the way you're supposed to with insulin. Then she placed it back in the case, exactly where it had been. She pulled out her phone and started recording a video. Day 63 of Lily's healing journey, she whispered to the camera. I've been gradually replacing her insulin with my herbal formula. Her body is starting to remember how to regulate itself. In a few more weeks, she'll be completely free of Big Pharma's poison. This is going to help so many people when I share her story. A complete reversal of type 1 diabetes. Proof that the body can heal if we just listen to nature. She was documenting it. She was planning to use my granddaughter as a testimonial for her dangerous pseudoscience. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I could see was Lily's face, pale and shaking, every weekend when her blood sugar dropped. She wasn't just having random episodes. Amber was systematically replacing her insulin with herbs. She was slowly killing her while believing she was healing her. I called 911. My granddaughter is in immediate danger, I told the operator, surprised at how steady my voice sounded. Someone has been tampering with her medication. She's diabetic. Please send someone now. I gave them the address and told them I had video evidence. Then I called Daniel. Margaret, I thought you were at Susan's? Daniel, listen to me very carefully. Come home right now. Don't tell Amber I called. Just come home. What's wrong? Is it Lily? Please. Trust me. Just come home. The police arrived first. I met them outside, showed them the video on my phone. One officer's face went white. Jesus Christ, we need to get that child to a hospital. When they knocked on the door, Amber answered with a bright smile. Can I help you? Ma'am, we need to speak with you about Lily Chen. Her smile faltered. What about Lily? She's fine. She's upstairs. We have evidence that you've been tampering with her insulin. We need to take her to the hospital immediately for evaluation. I watched the color drain from Amber's face. What? No. You don't understand. I'm helping her. I'm curing her. By replacing her insulin with herbs? The officer's voice was hard. That's medical neglect. That's child endangerment. Daniel's car screeched into the driveway. He ran up to the house, taking in the police cars, Amber's tears, my face. What the hell is going on? I showed him the video. I watched my son's face crumble as he realized what had been happening under his own roof, to his own daughter. Oh my God, Amber, what did you do? I was helping her. I was setting her free from a lifetime of injections and side effects. Daniel, you have to believe me. I love Lily. I would never hurt her. You've been poisoning her. His voice broke. Every weekend. Every time Mom left. You've been slowly killing my daughter. The paramedics checked Lily immediately. Her blood sugar was 52 and dropping. They started an IV with dextrose right there in the living room. She was confused, asking why there were so many people in the house, why Grandma was crying. It's okay, sweetheart. I held her hand as they worked. You're going to be okay now. At the hospital, they tested the liquid in the insulin pen. Blessed thistle extract mixed with colloidal silver and several other herbs. Not a single unit of actual insulin. The doctor estimated that if it had gone on another few weeks, Lily could have gone into diabetic ketoacidosis. She could have died. Amber was arrested at the scene. The charges were serious. Reckless endangerment, child abuse, tampering with medication. Her bail was set high, and Daniel made it clear he'd testify against her. In the weeks that followed, we learned more. Amber had been planning to write a book about Lily's healing journey. She had drafted chapters with titles like From Insulin Dependent to Insulin Free and How I Cured My Stepdaughter's Diabetes Naturally. She had a spreadsheet tracking how much insulin she'd replaced each week, planning to take Lily completely off it by Christmas. She genuinely believed she was helping. In her mind, she was the hero, saving a child from the medical establishment. She'd been so deep in wellness culture, so surrounded by misinformation and pseudoscience, that she'd convinced herself that a child's life was worth risking to prove her beliefs. The prosecutor told us that cases like this were becoming more common. Parents and caregivers who believed so strongly in natural healing that they denied children necessary medical care. Some called it medical neglect. Some called it abuse through ignorance. Either way, children died. Amber took a plea deal. 5 years in prison, with mandatory psychiatric treatment. She had to surrender her health coaching certifications and was prohibited from giving any medical or health advice to anyone ever again. Daniel was racked with guilt. I brought her into our home. I should have seen it. I should have listened to you. You wanted to believe in her, I said gently. You wanted to be happy again. There's no shame in that. But Lily is safe now. That's what matters. It's been almost 2 years since that day. Lily is 13 now, thriving. Her diabetes is well controlled. She knows what happened, age appropriately. She knows that sometimes people who claim to love us can hurt us through their beliefs, and that it's never our fault. Daniel sold the house. Too many bad memories. We moved to a smaller place together, and I'm still helping raise Lily. I don't mind. She's the light of my life. But I think about that time often. About how close we came to losing her. About how I almost convinced myself I was being paranoid, overprotective, jealous even. About how easy it would have been to ignore my instincts. I'm sharing this story because I want anyone who hears it to know. If something feels wrong, trust yourself. Especially when a child's safety is involved. It doesn't matter if you're afraid of causing conflict, of ruining relationships, of being wrong. I was terrified of being wrong about Amber. Terrified that I was seeing evil where there was only misguided good intentions. But the evidence didn't lie. The camera didn't lie. And my granddaughter's life was worth any amount of temporary family drama. If you see something, say something. If you suspect a child is being medically neglected, even by someone who claims to love them, report it. Call Child Protective Services. Call the police. Call the child's doctor. You might be wrong. You might face backlash. But you might also save a life. Lily still does her insulin injections 4 times a day. She still checks her blood sugar. She still counts carbs. And you know what? She's happy. She's healthy. She's living the full, active life that Jessica wanted for her. There's no cure for type 1 diabetes yet, but there are treatments that work, that keep children alive and thriving, and anyone who tells you otherwise, who tells you to abandon proven medicine for unproven alternatives, is dangerous. No matter how well-meaning they seem, no matter how much they claim to love you, I learned that lesson almost too late. I hope by sharing this, someone else won't have to learn it the same way. Trust your instincts. Protect the vulnerable, and never ever feel guilty about choosing a child's safety over someone's feelings. That's my story. That's what happened when I installed a camera in my kitchen and discovered the woman my son loved was slowly killing my granddaughter while believing she was saving her. And if you're out there, thinking something isn't right with a child, please don't wait like I almost did. Don't talk yourself out of it. Don't worry about being wrong. Because somewhere out there might be another Lily. Another child whose caregiver has been swayed by dangerous misinformation. Another family 1 week away from tragedy. Be brave. Speak up. It might just save a life.